Dallas Cowboys Game Night is presented by AT&T. More for your thing, that's our thing. GEICO, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Cowboys. And by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full access to coaches' film and game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl. Subscribe at DallasCowboys.com/Game Pass.
Much better result on the trip to New Jersey to Giants Stadium, to MetLife Stadium, for the Cowboys this time than their last trip. A big second-half rally, and the Cowboys defeat the New York Giants on Monday Night Football by a score of 37-18. Welcome to the Cowboys postgame show. Brad Sham, Babe Laufenberg, and the noted Giant killer, Blake Jarwin, who Babe was talking before the game, makes a living destroying the hopes and dreams of all the New York Giants. But that touchdown tonight, the first one that your team had, you really needed an offensive spark. That's the fastest I've ever seen you run. And the great run, I think, obscured the difficulty of the shoot-top catch. So just take us with the ball coming to your hands and walk us through the whole thing.
Yeah, that was definitely the hardest one so far, that I've had in my career. But Dak makes so many good plays with his feet. He gets outside the pocket. Just give us a chance, as his receivers. So he gave me a chance, threw it my way. Yeah, it was a tough catch, definitely. It was about that far away from the ground, about 2 inches. So glad I got my hands on it. And then I knew there was a guy behind me, so I just kind of took off, kind of peeked over my shoulder, and then some great blocking downfield, too, by the receivers.
When you looked up, it looked like you were almost surprised by how much open field there was in front of you, and you thought, I better hurry then.
Yeah, just say, hey, I know as a tight end sometimes we don't have a lot of opportunities, so I'll take the most advantage if I can, and kind of worked out. Like I said, I don't know which receiver was blocking in front of me, but they did a great job. I kind of cut right in between them, and luckily you got in the end zone.
So 6 career touchdowns, 5 of them have come against the Giants. You think the Giants will be trying to trade for you next year? I know the trading deadline has ended, and they're pretty disappointed about that, I'm sure.
Hey, you know what? It doesn't really matter. I love where I'm at. Just happy, Kellen believes in me to give me the opportunity that he does, and Dak believes in me enough to throw me the ball. So, credit to our offensive line, credit to Zeke, credit to Dak, Witt with the big 8 or 9 catches tonight. Without those guys, we're not sitting here with a smile on our face. So they played hard.
And on that touchdown, there's about a minute left in the game, 52 seconds. It's 2nd and 10. You're at the 42. You're really just hoping to kind of get the ball inside, make sure you get a field goal out of the deal. What was your thought process on that?
Yeah, I've been thinking lately. I haven't had a lot of catches in the middle of the field, and had an opportunity to kind of run after catch, and so I knew as soon as we kind of had that play called, I was like, I might have a chance here to kind of go, and I was excited. Like I said, it wasn't perfect by any means, but
yes, it was. What do you mean it wasn't perfect?
Well, the throw and the catch, it's a little tough, but that's how football is in the NFL.
Sure.
You got to make plays, and just thankful Dak made the play and ran out of the pocket, and we got it done.
So frustrating first half. You're down 12-3 with under 3 minutes to play in the half, and an uncharacteristic team struggle on third down tonight. What do you attribute that to?
Yeah, I think first off, we ran the ball incredibly well, and we just kind of had a few mishaps like you're talking about. It's just little things that we can take care of. It was nothing they did. I think it was all self-inflicted. So, that's good, though. We can go and we can learn from that and get better. So, like you said, we've been really good so far on third downs, and I'm excited. I think the guys are looking forward to kind of fixing that next week.
And Blake, players love routines. They want to schedule. They want to be on the same schedule. Obviously, you go a little off schedule. You have a bye week, then don't play until Monday.
Right.
A little bit of a sluggish start.
Yeah.
Was a little bit of that a product of not having played football for a couple of weeks?
Yeah, I think you got to get your feet back underneath you just a little bit. But we were excited to get out here. Definitely is road game on Monday Night Football. It's tough. You got to kind of sit around and there's not much to watch on TV all day. So, but I think we ran the ball incredibly well to start off. We just didn't execute. Finish drive. So it'll be a point of emphasis going forward.
I would advise you to embrace the police procedurals. There are plenty of them on TV. Right. Big game for Blake Jarwin. Big key play to help spur the Cowboys on to the 37-18 win over the Giants. Thank you. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Enjoy that flight. Cowboys postgame show continues in a moment.
This segment is brought to you by the Texas Lottery. Play the Dallas Cowboys scratch ticket today. It's your ticket for a chance to win big.
Welcome back to MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. The Cowboys with a big 37-18 Monday Night Football win over the New York Giants. Brad Sham and Babe Laufenberg with the man who, according to us, actually turned this game around. The Cowboys were struggling until Xavier Woods made a huge interception in the second quarter. That was the spark that it seemed to us that the team really needed. Now that's 2. Now you're on a little bit of a roll. So walk us through that play. What did you see? It looked like you were able to play center field because the corner had pretty good coverage. And what did you think that play meant in the game?
Well, first it was a max protection look. At that point in the game where I knew he was going to take a shot, they came out max protection. With 86 is their shot guy. He was singled up. And I just read the quarterback. He laid the ball up in the air, put the air on the ball. And I just used my instincts to go make a play. As far as the spark, I definitely think it did because that was the first turnover. Was able to get the lead after that and just take off from there.
Do you think turnovers come in bunches? And, I mean, this is, a bunch in 2 games now. Do you think this is something you guys will be able to continue?
I definitely. It's a week-to-week thing. We had to come in every week and just not force it, but have it on our minds. To make the turnover when opportunity's there to relish on, to take it.
And on the interception, Xavier, it looked like about 10 yards out of his hand. I said, oh, this is going to get picked. So when you saw the ball go up, did you say, oh, boy, this is real opportunity for me?
Well, I kind of knew what the play was going to be. And then when I read it, when the ball was in the air, I was like, oh, yeah, I got him.
And this thing got real chippy. Will Hernandez, a big part of it. You were involved in it. What was happening out there?
They're just backing up their guy, and we're backing up our guys. And, things don't happen after the football game. It's all love. It's don't take none of that personal.
Were you surprised to get that taunting call on the sideline?
Definitely. He ran over to me. I'm protecting myself, but it'll be all right.
And I asked Blake Jarwin the question, so I'll ask you. You had some continuity out, big win against Philadelphia. Get 2 weeks off. Then not only you get 2 weeks, you have to wait till Monday to play. Sluggish start in the first half, at least offensively. Take a little while to get going. I know players love routines, and you kind of didn't have one this past 2 weeks.
That's why the NFL is a 60-minute ball game. You start off slow, but it's on a defensive night in that first half to hold them, to keep the game close. Then that offense picks up in the second half.
And you did a lot of good things defensively, held Saquon Barkley to 2 yards of carry and all this, but I thought the best thing, I'm sure you feel the same way, they got inside the 10 and they ended up with 4 field goals, 4 short ones. So how important was that to keep them out of the end zone?
The saying is give us a blade of grass, we'll defend it. No matter where you put us at the 1 yard line, at the inch yard line, give us a blade of grass and we're going to defend it. That's what we did.
So you now have, as I mentioned, 2 interceptions in just a couple of games. Now for a corner, there's a lot of man coverage, and for a safety, it seems to me it might depend on the defense that you're in and the circumstance. How hard are those interceptions to come by as a safety?
This week he allowed me to be the middle field safety. I ain't have to have any responsibilities playing down, and he just said use your instinct, just go play ball. Just read the quarterback, and opportunities going to come in the game. They're going to come. You have to take it. When the opportunity comes, you have to take it.
Now, the fumble you caused, that's you making the opportunity, though, right? Isn't that something that you drill and try to do?
That's taking it. That's putting your shoulder pass where the ball's at. We knew he don't like to slide. We knew he's a tough guy. Put our hat on him.
He'll slide next time.
Yeah. I think you will. Huge part of the win. Big interception, fumble forced by Xavier Woods. Thank you. Appreciate the time.
Thank you, Xavier.
Appreciate it. Cowboys postgame show continues in a moment.
This segment was brought to you by the Texas Lottery. Play the Dallas Cowboys scratch ticket today. It's your ticket for a chance to win big. This segment is brought to you by GEICO. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Welcome back to the Cowboys postgame show. Cowboys 37-18 winners over the New York Giants on Monday Night Football. Brad Sham and Babe Laufenberg with Sean Lee, who looked just like Sean Lee playing football out there tonight. And we really thought that you were just a huge part of the most important part of the game, which was defending sudden change. There was the interception to start the game. There were 2 big kickoff returns. There was the screen pass down inside the 10-yard line. They got field goals with all of those things. What's the key to defending that sudden change and making that impression defensively?
I think we do a great job mindset-wise. Coach Bashar brings us in, and we huddle before we go out there and make sure, hey, doesn't matter where we're on the field, just give us one blade of grass and we're going to defend it. And that kills momentum. Anytime you can keep them out of the end zone after a big play, it changes the game.
I know Barkley obviously got the big play on the screen pass, but they ran it to the right. Then they came back, ran it to the left about another series later, and something told me that you were ready for that.
Yeah,
the fact that he tackled him for a 7-yard loss, was that what told you?
Something. All my expertise.
The first one was just a display of how talented he is. He's an unbelievable running back, and once he opens that stride, you need to be ahead of him. You can't let him get going because it's extremely hard to catch him. And so, got a great tip from the coaches on the sideline about the looks, and was able to make the play. But it's really the preparation, and the tips that they gave me.
Well, and he clearly is a very talented player and made the big play in the passing game, but running the football, long run of 8, averaged 2 yards a carry. Why were you guys able to defend him as well as you did?
I think with just our fits. I mean, we went over him all week, and we knew that there was no margin for error. If you give him any space, he's going to make you miss. He can take it the distance. And we knew also we had to hustle, and that we had to have not one guy, we had to have 3 or 4 guys at a time to tackle him. I thought the hustle was unbelievable. I thought the way we played, we're disciplined. That's what you need against a great back.
And when you say fits, explain that.
So just what position, what gap you have, or where you're positioned on the run, whether you're slanting the line, whether you have a gap, just making sure everybody's disciplined and where they need to be at the right time.
So I thought coming into the game that the one thing that was really important was for your unit to kind of put your stamp on playing the way you wanted to play as a defense. Wasn't sure you'd done that consistently all year long, and I thought tonight you might have done that better in the way that you wanted to do it as a group than you have done in any other game. Do you agree with all of that, and how important is it going forward?
I think the last 2 games we've played like the defense that we are and that we can be. We've been up and down, and I think we've been frustrated because we haven't been able to live up to our standard and play like we did for most of last year. These last 2 games were a good step, but we know we can't be up and down. We have to continue to build and really play better.
And everybody talks about defensively, the takeaways come in bunches. Sure. So you've had 7 in the last 2 games. So can the bunch continue, or how does that work? Are we done with bunches?
No. We're hoping that more and more come, and I think we know that we've been close, but it takes work. It takes discipline. It takes everything, working on it day in and day out to get close to that football. And I think we've been building towards this. We've been practicing the right way. We've been close to a couple interceptions and fumbles, and finally we're starting to do it.
This has been a real transition year for you. You had to kind of embrace a different role coming in, and now you were able to revert to the role that you have been accustomed to when you've been healthy the last few years. Was it energizing? Was it strange to step back in and have that be yours? How did that feel?
Well, I came back because I love being part of this team. Playing with the guys on the team, I feel like I'm playing high school football, the close relationships that we have. And I knew that, whatever the role was going to be, I was going to try to maximize it, whether I'm playing 10 snaps or I'm whatever position I'm playing. I'm going to do whatever I can to help this team win. And it is nice, being able to play a little bit more and get in the flow of things.
Yeah.
But we have so many great players and so many great linebackers. It's just a blessing to be part of it.
Looked just like Sean Lee tonight. What do you know? Big part of the Cowboys' 37-18 win over the New York Giants. Thank you. Congratulations.
Sean, thank you. Congratulations.
Cowboys postgame show continues in a moment.
This segment was brought to you by GEICO. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Welcome back to MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. Brad Sham and Babe Laufenberg. Cowboys win 37-18 over the Giants on Monday Night Football. A very strong second half. They struggled offensively in the first half. It was 12-3 with under 3 minutes to play in the half, but Dak Prescott, as he usually does, hung in there, and as he usually does, he had a terrific second half.
He did, and I always say the best attribute I think he has, and maybe the best attribute you can have as a quarterback, is to be good late in the game, in the second half, and that's what Dak has been. Today, 11 of 15, I believe, 120, 2 touchdowns in the second half, no interceptions, no turnovers, and he really just let him back. And, again, his persistency, the head coach always talks about, hey, keep banging away, and that's what he did, and that's what they did.
Let's hear some of the post-game comments of Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott.
At the beginning of the game, did it get a little scary for you guys in terms of, how you started out a little bit there, Dak?
No, I don't think scares the word for that. We're a confident team. We're a team that even when we're fighting adversity, even when we're getting in our own way and struggling a little bit, we have confidence. We have faith in what we're going to do. We know what we're able to do. And, tonight was another example of that, of wiping all the stuff that we've done bad up to this point after a few drives. And I want to say, with 2 minutes left in the first half, able to get some points and get things rolling and change the game from there.
Can you describe what happened on the touchdown pass to Jarwin? It seemed like things kind of started to roll for you guys after that.
Yeah, I mean, just a simple crossing play, drive play, and a rollout. And Jarwin, I see there's nobody ahead. I'm trying to tell him to go up the field. He gives me a chance to throw him the ball, makes a great catch. Was short on the throw and just goes and runs it in. And that was the momentum we needed. And as I said, from there we were able to do the things we wanted to do and control the game.
Did you talk about how the run game was kind of a key to this? You guys had an effective one going tonight, and defensively you really shut them down on the other side.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this team's built up front from the offense and the defensive standpoint. Our offensive line set the tone from the game, as you said, in the running game, getting on the edges, watching Zach Martin pull all night, just guys just being athletic, showing how talented that offensive line was, or how talented they are. They did that tonight. And when you have an offensive line like that, you've got to have a defensive line like that. And the defensive line on the other side did a great job of shutting those guys down and holding a great running back.
Dak, your thoughts on the black cat? Tank Lawrence said when he saw it, he said,
I just was wondering who was going to catch the thing. I wasn't getting close to it. I'm not superstitious or anything, but I wasn't getting near it. And thankful we got that thing out of the stadium and was able to get back to the game.
It was a good omen, though. You got scored right after that.
Turned your way after that.
Yeah, I mean, things weren't good up to that point, so I mean, it could only get better from there. So I thought about that. I definitely thought about that. I guess we'll start rolling now that the Black Cats come in bad for the Giants. So who knows? Fun. First time, I guess, I've seen an animal run on the field that I've been a part of.
Dak, 7 touchdown passes this year against the Giants. You're 6-2 against them all time. What is it about this team that you're able to perform at a high level?
I mean, I think when you play any division team, you're familiar with them. You're familiar with the personnel. You're familiar with the scheme that they want to play. When you get to play a team twice, that happens. So we've got a great team, a lot of great guys on this offense. Obviously, a great defense that holds those guys down, that allows us to go out there and just score more points. So I mean, it's a good team on the other side. It was a great game, great division rival.
Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott will be back to wrap things up from MetLife Stadium when Dallas Cowboys football continues.
Dallas Cowboys Game Night was presented by AT&T. More for your thing, that's our thing. Reliant, an NRG company. U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. Choose VA today. And by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full access to coaches' film and game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl. Subscribe at DallasCowboys.com/Game Pass.
Welcome back to the Cowboys postgame show. Brad Sham and Babe Laufenberg. Cowboys are 5-3 at the halfway point. After beating the Giants 37-18, started the first half with a win over the Giants, finished the first half with a win over the Giants.
Yeah.
They were nothing like each other, and so a lot of people will complain about that first half, but as we said, at the end, they don't say how, they say how many.
Well, and I always say there are no ugly babies and there are no ugly wins, right?
Right.
And hey, this was they won going away by the end of it. Now, I know it's a short week, and you've got 2 great backs that you had to face. They did a great job on Saquon Barkley today. He averaged 2 yards a carry. They got another one coming in against Minnesota Sunday night in Dalvin Cook. And they like to run the football.
Oh, boy, and that is a wide-open offense with a veteran quarterback. So, as Sean Lee pointed out, the defense thinks it's back after the last 2 games. We'll find out. Cowboys 5-3, beat the Giants 37-18. And Babe and I will talk to you on the postgame show next Sunday night after the Cowboys meet the Minnesota Vikings at AT&T Stadium.